Hi, my name is Matt Carroll, World Class Coaching, with the Academy Sports Coach 2025. I want to talk to you about a session that I designed today to work on small-sided games for passing and breaking lines. So here we have a session, a warm-up drill, where we're working on connecting passes in half of this grid, and then working on breaking lines and connecting to the secondary grid. So what we've got here is we can do two things here. We can have this is a we'll play on this grid, and we can connect the pass. Players can stand on the other side of this. We can connect the pass through this grid. We then have a transition where now black scores a point for passing through the grid. Yellow and black going to the next grid. If I can move them, there we go. And black cannot then go back through the grid until they go around this red cone here. So we're creating situations in which we're kind of on fast breaks, we're looking for transitions, and then we're changing the point of attack. So we go here, let's say this happens, black is able to successfully pass between the gates. They're able to successfully pass through the gates to get to their side, and now black is working on trying to get back to those gates again. So we're kind of getting, in a small-sided situation, we're getting a lot of continual overlap of passing to break lines, counterattacking, and then resetting and trying to do it again over and over again. So we're getting repetition, we're getting a lot of opportunities for coaching opportunities here, where we can talk to the players a lot about, okay, well, if you made your run here, if you had done this differently, if you had done this, et cetera, we've been able to break lines a little quicker, we've been able to get closer. And you can even change the scoring so that the one through the red, which is trickier, obviously, we obviously like to go right at the middle, but it's a little trickier. We can make that worth 2 points instead of 1 point or something along those lines. The other thing we do, same kind of concept, but is that players can't go into the other grid to receive. So we're not playing the full dimensions of the grid, we're playing it's truly a half grid, and they can't go past the sticks until the ball breaks the line, or the ball is played and they can break the line then, and playing a true offsides trap there, and working on breaking our lines from an so we were working on like breaking that final line in a defensive situation. So I'd go through this for a little bit, maybe 15 minutes here to get them going, and giving them a lot of opportunities to break these lines in the transition, and what happens when we lose possession, stuff like that. So say yellow wins the ball, it's a quick transition. They can go, they win the ball here, they play the ball here, and they can quickly make a run through. So we're also demonstrating to yellow what we can do in transition moments, but we're demonstrating to black what happens if we're sloppy with the ball and we give the ball up in certain situations, and we don't play a well-played ball that allows them. So there's a lot of strategy involved within it, deciding where and when to make your passes, when to make the through balls. Defensively, you're looking to guard these and deciding where to go and pushing them out wide, since the red gates are worth a little bit more. From here, I would keep the gates, so we can kind of easily transition here without picking anything up. And we're going to have two grids going at the same time. So essentially we have a 6v6, but split in half, and we're playing with two balls here. So this side holds onto a ball, and this side holds onto a ball. So black's playing against yellow, yellow's playing against black, and we're playing keep way. Maybe we're keeping track of our scores with the number of completed passes. 3 passes or 5 passes is a point for the attacking team or the possessing team. So what we can then do is we can do a modifier where if we're able to play a pass, oops, I accidentally got 3 balls in here, that leads to our team possessing both balls in a grid, every point you score for there is doubled. So if you scored 1 point for 3 passes, you get 2 points. So what we have here is we have kind of an overloaded clog, right? So then, because this isn't going to be able to last very long, and we'll give a -1 point if they lose possession here. All right, so once they lose possession to yellow, they lose a point. They're maintaining 2 balls, every 3 passes is a point. They lose it, they lose a point. So the way they can avoid losing that point and racking up points and avoiding the negative is, once they feel they've connected enough passes, the other side is looking to receive. So they're looking to, and they have to receive through these gates. If any pass goes outside of one of the gates, or out of bounds or whatever like that, it doesn't count. It's a reset to yellow, and they lose the point. But if they can break a line through the gate and find an opponent on the other side, it reduces that stress of if we lose the ball, we lose a point, and we just go back to normal keep away. So it's kind of incentivizing possession, but it's also incentivizing when to get rid of that possession, when to play that possession away from you and find that through ball. So we're working on breaking lines here, but we're working on when to break lines, when is it appropriate to break lines, where are the looks, the off-the-ball runs that make breaking lines possible. So we're kind of dissecting it a little bit more than just the base of here's how you break a line, here's how to pass it, and making it a little bit more strategy-based, and making them kind of putting the additional factors involved with like breaking line or double points or -1 point. It can be hectic, and that's kind of what we're trying to recreate in these situations is playing that line breaking pass or that through ball is going to create a hectic situation where there's a lot of thought process. It's kind of a snap decision, where pass 1 inch this way or that way is going to change the trajectory of the pass, and whether it's going to be a ball that's kicked out for touch or it's going to be a goal. So I think adding those stimuli to the drill definitely helps make it a little more game-like. So from here, I cleared this all out. So kind of as I've gone along, I've either like picked up cones or kind of like kept going. So we had a lot of cones, we're moving away from cones. That's something I like to do is like you have this very littered like session where it's very specific cones, you're following these cones, and as you take away the cones, you're again not only making the drills more game-like, but you're making the field look more game-like. So here we go with 3 yellow in the middle, 3 black in the middle, and I'm going to set up a couple gates here. And I'm going to have a couple bumper players on the outside. I can maybe set one up in the middle. All right, and then what we're going to do is play normal game, keep away here. And then instead of scoring from completing passes, the way we're going to score is being able to find line-breaking passes from our bumper players. So the way black is going to score is if they have possession, they're going to pass to a bumper player. All right, yellow's going to try to defend that, but if black is able to play a pass that breaks one of these gates and receive from a bumper player, they get a point. All right, so if yellow wins the ball, they intercept it, it's negated, yellow's possession, and they're going to try to do the exact same thing. So playing to a bumper, you can go through any gate, any angle, but it has to go through the gate. So the players in red, the bumper players, can move and create different angles, but they have to receive, and they can't play to the player that they just passed to them. So we're making connecting passes and finding triangles around them. We're not looking for more give and goes. We're looking for longer line breaking passes. The through ball that leads to a scoring chance. So it can't be the player that passed it. It has to be a player that is off the ball making a run. So I'd love to hear in the comment section some of the things you do for line breaking passes, some of the way you teach the off the ball movement, the runs. What are you looking for? What are your visual cues for making that run, or even for finding that run and picking your head up and seeing, hey, they're making this movement this is when I want you to try to play that pass. So I'd love to hear some of the things you guys do to teach that. But once again, my name is Matt Carroll with World Class Coaching. I'm with the help of Academy Sports Coach 2025. I hope the session finds you well.